There is a potato sitting on my kitchen counter right now on the old wooden table by the window, and there is a red rose poking straight up out of the top of it. Just one plain grocery store potato with a rose stem pushed down into a little hole in the middle, standing up like a candle in a birthday cake. Now, that rose came fresh off a bouquet somebody handed me. A lot of folks would have set it in a vase, watched it droop in a week, and dropped it in the trash. But I did something my Grandma Hazel showed me more than 50 years ago, standing right at the edge of her garden. And I'll be honest with you, honey, because I would never tell you a fib. Nothing on God's green earth grows 999 roots overnight. That title is just having a little fun with you. But what this plain potato and this one rose stem can do together over the next few weeks, well, it surprised even me the first time I saw it. So stay with me all the way to the end, because the one thing that decides whether that cutting turns into a whole rose bush or turns to mush down in the soil is not the potato at all. It's one small thing you do up top, and it's the exact opposite of what most folks believe keeps a cutting alive. I'm Debra Wilson, and I've been growing flowers for more than 50 years, ever since I was a little girl at my Grandma Hazel's elbow. These days, my yard is the most colorful one on the whole block, and my neighbors will tell you so. But I'll tell you honest, I once went 2 whole summers without a single hydrangea bloom, feeding those bushes all wrong until Grandma's old words came back to me and turned the whole thing around. So when I show you something out here, honey, it's because I've done it with my own 2 hands. Now here's why I love this little project so much. A nice healthy rose bush at the garden center will run you $15, $20, sometimes $30 or more. But a rose you already have or one single stem off a bouquet like this one can become a brand new blooming bush for nothing but a little patience. That's the old way. Back when Grandma Hazel came up, you didn't run to the store every time you wanted another plant. You made more of what you already loved right there in the yard with what you had in the kitchen and out in the shed. But I want to be honest about why so many folks try this one time and give up. They push a rose stem down in some dirt. They wait about a week and they come back to a slimy black stem gone soft and rotten. And they decide they just weren't born with a green thumb. Now listen, honey, that's just not so. You've got a green thumb, same as anybody. What you didn't have was somebody to stand out here and show you the 3 or 4 small things that make all the difference. And that potato is the first one, because a bare rose stem shoved in soil dries out and topples right over, but a firm potato holds that stem steady and keeps the very bottom of it moist and settled while it gets to work. That's the potato's real job, and it's a sweet, simple thing. But hold on to what I told you at the start, because the potato is only handling the easy part. The part that truly decides root or rot is still coming, and it's the part most folks get exactly backwards. Now, what I'm doing today comes right out of a little book I put together called Debra's 30-Day Bloom Protocol. I wrote it for folks with big leafy plants and stubborn bushes that just won't flower. It's my gentle day-by-day system for turning them into bloomers in 30 days, built on these same old pantry and shed methods Grandma Hazel used, written out plain for hydrangeas, roses, peonies, dahlias, and perennials. It's 122 pages, and right now it's $17, marked down from $47. Think about that, honey. $17 against another whole summer of nothing but leaves. If you'd like a copy, getting it is easy, and I'll walk you through it nice and slow. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. All right. Now come on back out here with me because it's time to pick our cutting, and that is where the whole thing begins. The best time to take a rose cutting is late spring on through the summer while your roses have been blooming. What you're looking for is a stem that has just finished flowering, where the bloom is spent and starting to fade. Not the brand new soft growth way up at the tip. That one's too green and floppy to root. And not the old hard woody part down at the bottom. That one's too stubborn. You want the piece in between, firm but still willing to bend a little, about as thick as a pencil. Now cut yourself a length about 6 to 8 inches long. That's 6 to 8 inches, honey, roughly from your wrist to the tips of your fingers. One good stem like that is all you need to make yourself one brand new rose. Now, a quick honest word about using a rose from a bouquet. The one I've got here came fresh, and a fresh one works just fine. But if you're cutting from a bunch that's been sitting on the table a while, or one of those fancy long-stemmed roses from the florist that's been treated to last, it can be more stubborn about rooting. The surest cutting of all comes straight off a living rose bush in your own yard, snipped fresh in the morning. So if a store rose won't take for you, don't you fret. It's no fault of yours. Now this is where a lot of good gardeners go wrong, and it's such a small thing you'd walk right past it. Run your finger slow down that green stem and you'll feel little bumps along it, the spots where a leaf joins on. Those bumps have a fancy name. They're called nodes, but you don't need to remember that. Just remember this. Every one of those little bumps is where the plant keeps its root-making cells packed in tight and ready to go. So when you make your cut, you want to cut right below one of those bumps, as close under it as you can get. Not up in the smooth space in between them, right below the bump, because that is where the roots want to come from, and if you cut in the wrong spot, you've left all that root-making power sitting up above where it can't do you a lick of good. Cut just below the bump at a little slant so the water runs off instead of sitting there, and you are already ahead of nearly everybody who's ever tried this. So that handles the bottom of your cutting. But it leaves you with a problem up at the top, and how you handle that matters more than you'd ever guess. Look at all those leaves on your cutting. Now the plant does need a few leaves because leaves are how it feeds itself. But too many leaves, and your poor cutting works itself half to death trying to keep them all alive before it even has roots. So here's what we do. Strip off every leaf on the bottom half of the stem, real gentle, just pinch and pull them away. Then up at the top, leave only 2 or 3 leaves, and if those are big, you can even snip them in half. That's all. A bare bottom to sit down in the potato, and just a little green up top to breathe. Now before that bare end ever goes into the potato, this is where Grandma's pantry comes in. She dipped the cut end in a little honey, just a light coat, because honey is gentle and it helps keep the rot away. Some folks use a pinch of cinnamon the same way, right off your spice rack. And if you've got a willow tree anywhere near you, a cup of water with a few crushed willow twigs left to soak overnight makes what the old-timers called willow water, and roses have rooted in it for 100 years. Any one of those will do you fine. And not one of them costs you a thing you don't already have in the house. Now before you go grab that potato, remember what I keep promising you, that one thing that decides root or rot. We are almost there, I promise. But first, the potato. Take yourself a good, firm potato, a nice, solid one, not some soft, wrinkly thing from the back of the bin. Poke a hole down into the middle of it with a screwdriver or a clean stick, about 1 inch or 2 deep, but don't go all the way through. Then slide the bare end of your cutting down into that hole. snug enough that it stands right up on its own. And there it is, a rose in a potato, just like the picture. That potato holds your cutting straight and steady, and it keeps the bottom end moist and settled, which is just what a brand new cutting wants down below. Now set the whole thing, potato and all, down into a pot of loose, crumbly soil, deep enough that the potato is covered over and only the leafy top is peeking out. Firm the soil around it with your hands, nice and gentle, and give it a good drink of water to settle everything in. And that's it for the potato part. Anyone can do this, honey. I promise you that. Now, here is the part I've been promising you since the very start. The one thing that decides whether that cutting turns into a rose bush or turns into black mush in the pot. And I'll tell you plain, it is the exact opposite of what most people fuss over. Everybody worries about the roots down below. That's a big part of why the potato feels so satisfying. It's doing something down at the bottom where you think all the action is. But nearly all the real danger to your cutting is up top, honey, in those leaves. Let me show you why. That cutting has no roots yet. None at all. And roots are how a plant drinks its water. So the whole time it's trying to grow those roots, it can hardly take up any water from below. But those leaves up top are still breathing, still letting water out into the air all day long. So your poor cutting is losing water out the top faster than it can ever hope to replace it from below. That's why cuttings wilt, why they go soft and give up. Not because the bottom dried out, because the top dried them out. So here is the whole secret, and it costs you nothing at all. You trap the moisture up top. You take a clear glass jar or an empty milk jug with the bottom cut off, or even a clear plastic bag propped up on a couple of little sticks so it doesn't lay right down on the leaves, and you set that over the whole cutting like a little dome. That's the whole trick. That little cover keeps the air around those leaves damp and still, so the cutting stops losing the water it can't afford to lose. You've made yourself a tiny greenhouse right there on the windowsill. Now set it somewhere with bright light but out of the hard, direct sun, because direct sun beating through that glass will cook it. A north-facing window or a shady spot on the porch is just right. Keep the soil damp, like a wrung-out sponge, never soaking wet, because soggy soil is the one thing that will rot your potato and your stem both. And then, honey, comes the hardest part of all. You wait. Not overnight, no matter what that title told you. Real roots take 3 to 6 weeks to come in, so you leave it be. Don't go tugging and poking at it every single morning. After about 3 or 4 weeks, you can give the stem the gentlest little pull, just barely, and if it holds on and pulls back at you, that means roots have taken hold down in that soil. That is your sign. Once it's rooted, give it a few more weeks to grow strong, then move it up to a bigger pot or a sheltered little spot out in the garden, and by next season, you could be looking at your very first blooms. Roses are never in a hurry, and neither are we. And that one little correction up top, honey, that is exactly how my whole book works. One gentle, sensible fix at a time for every flower in your yard. Debra's 30-day bloom protocol walks you through it day by day to get your stubborn hydrangeas, roses, peonies, and dahlias to finally burst into bloom instead of giving you all leaves and no flowers. It's $17 right now, down from $47, and it pays for itself the very first time a bare plant of yours finally flowers. Here's how to get your copy. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. So there you have it. One rose, one plain potato, the right little cut just below the bump, and a jar over the top to hold the moisture, and you've grown yourself a brand new rose bush for free. Now tell me down in the comments what's refusing to bloom for you this year and what state you're gardening in. I read every single one. And next time, come on back out here with me, because I'm going to show you the one kitchen scrap I bury down at the base of my hydrangeas every spring, the little thing that helps turn a tired bush full of leaves into one so heavy with blooms the branches bend right over. Now go on out there and get your hands in the dirt, honey. I'll see you in the garden.